Hey everyone, my name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about life administration, life, business, family business, and the hacks that can help you live a less stressed, more productive life. If you're like me, you're in the middle of got kids doing, school projects, sports, all these things that require these little administrative tasks, and they just build up and build up and build up. And if you don't have a system for streamlining these, for being on the same page as your spouse, you miss things, you miss deadlines, life is frustrating. So I'm going to share some things that I currently do and some things that I've learned and are attempting to implement. And hopefully we can both have a conversation on just what it means to live a simpler life, a more fluid, easily flowing life. And let's get into it. So step one, I think, when you're in your family, you need to have this conversation with your wife and your kids that you want to be on the same page. And depending on how you split things up, and I know everybody's a little different. Like for me, I do most of the money side of the administration, as far as I pay the bills, the accounts that we're logged into from whether it's the streaming services we have or the garbage pickup or the internet service provider, it goes to my email address because those are things that we pay that require money to function. My wife has a lot of the medical logins, the school, the online report cards. We've split those up. And I can tell you that system is probably not the best. And I am currently attempting to fix that. And the way I'm doing that is I've just recently created a family email address. And it's going to all of our kids and my wife. We're going to have access to the same email address, and I'm going to be switching everything that I pay, and then all the medical, all the school stuff to this one email address so that we all get the notifications. Because I cannot tell you how many times, something has come up and my wife says, oh yeah, we're doing this. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. She's like, oh, I put it on the calendar, and we have a shared calendar kind of. I used Google, because I use a PC at work, and so it's easier to go back and forth from a Mac to a PC. But my wife uses her Apple Calendar, and for some reason, when she posts something on the shared calendar, I don't always get it. She gets everything that I post on my Gmail to her. So one is to figure that out. If we start using the family Gmail account and the family Google Calendar, we'll all have the same calendar, and that will be awesome. So step one is get a family email. And then the benefit, and I use Gmail just because it seems like they've figured out how to make everything just seamless. Like you have, the storage and all that. And I'm sure there's other platforms out there. So when I'm giving this advice, use what works best for you. If everybody's on a Mac and use a Mac all the time, I'm sure Apple's, their whatever .Mac account will be just fine. But for us, we're going to use Gmail. And then my plan is to have files in my Google Drive with copies of everybody's birth certificate, with copies of social security numbers, with copies of, and you can, it's password protected, so people aren't just going to be getting in. And then when you go to sign up for something, you don't have it. Everybody has access to that. So we'll have a shared calendar. Everybody have access. We'll have a shared G Drive. Everybody can go in and put things in there. And we're going to try to organize our life around this Google Calendar, this shared email. We're going to have a family password so that, not that it frustrates me, but, it can be annoying for my family because I'm gone from work. Hey, what's the password to log into Hulu? And then I have to get on my phone and see if I remember it and then send it to them. If we have a family password, then everybody has it, and we don't have to have these conversations, and people can get in with what they want. So family password, family email, family calendar, which is, I think, even better than a shared calendar. All the family stuff goes in. And then if there's things that don't affect them, it's just things that I need to know. That's on my own personal calendar. So I think that's how we're doing that mostly, but that's how we're going to make this better. The second thing we do is there is a series of purchases that we need to make and lists that we use that are shared. And we use two programs. One is called AnyList. It's a free app. I'm assuming, I know it's on the iOS, the Apple platform. I don't know if it's on Android. What an amazing app. And I know with notes and other things, you can do shared notes, but this, the AnyList, it's specific to grocery shopping, and it will put the things you need in specific categories, so it makes it easier to shop. And the way it works, all of our kids have access to it. When you are in the refrigerator and you use the last, whatever, you squirt out the last bit of ketchup, you open up the AnyList app, you put ketchup, and then everybody who's on that same account, it shows up. We need to buy ketchup. And it makes shopping for food so easy. Because there's sometimes you'll go, like, you'll know you need milk, and you get to the grocery store and you buy milk because you knew that's what you needed. You get home and they're like, oh, I wish I would have known you were going to the grocery store. We really needed salt for the water softener. Now, anytime me or my wife will go to the grocery store, or my son who just got his driver's license, congratulations, Levi, open up the list. If there's something on the list, buy it. There's that you can upgrade to premium on AnyList, and we've done this. We don't currently use it. It wasn't as useful. We experimented. You can make meals. So like we eat salmon like once a week, and we know we're going to buy salmon fillet, lemon, dill. We need salt, and we usually have broccoli or green beans and rice. If you click on, you can create that meal. You click on it, and it puts everything in the list without you having to do it. So just click on salmon. Boom, the whole meal comes up. It's going to tell you to buy a green vegetable, dill, lemon, salmon. Boom, it's all there. Now you can click off of it if you don't need all the stuff, but it just makes it really helpful. And being able to share that list instantaneously is awesome. The other thing we do, and we use Apple Notes for this because it's free, is we create our weekly meal plan in Apple Notes so that we do, Monday through Sunday. We'll go through and say, on Monday, we're having this. My wife puts in when I'm at the fire department because she'll eat leftovers that day, or, if she's going to be busy. And because I when I'm home, I tend to cook. So it'll be food that she knows for sure she can make. And it's her recipes, where when I'm at home, I'll probably be cooking. And it's awesome to go, that we're having this, and this, that we're going to eat out. We plan all that stuff. And it has really made like a seamless, it just works really well. Some of the other things that we do, and this is not necessarily collaboration, but I found that when I go get the mail, and my wife will do the same thing, we go get the mail, and there's some things that are important to keep, and there's some things that are not important to keep. If we open the mail anywhere else other than right over the trash can, we end up keeping everything. You open it up, I don't need that, or I don't know. And it just gets on the table or on the countertop, and they're everywhere. So what we've done, we've made it a practice. When we go get the mail, we take it right to the garbage can, and we open up all the mail, and what we don't need goes right in the garbage or the recycling or whatever it needs to go into. And then whatever needs to be saved, we have another spot, another drawer for that, and it goes in there. And then we know when we open the drawer, if it's in there, that stuff is something we need to look over. We need to figure out who does what. And that has been very helpful from not having, the mail that just stacks up. So when it comes in, it goes in the trash. We touch it one time. And that's a very, there's lots of different productivity books. So it's like, don't touch things more than once. Bring it in, do the work, get the work done. When it comes to a digital email, we're still figuring out this system where if something comes in and I read it, how do I leave it so that I know that my wife knows that it's important for her to read as well. And I think what we're going to do is, you get email and you can delete or archive whatever it is you don't want. And then if I read it and it's important, you can mark it. And I think that's how we're going to do it, so that if my wife comes in and she sees there's 5 emails that are marked, like, you can put star or put a flag or whatever, how are you going to do that? She knows now that she needs to go on and read it as well. And once she's read it, we can archive it or delete it or put it into a file. And I think that will just eliminate the confusion of not knowing that there is school's going to be closed because of this. Having everything as a family is, I think, going to be helpful, going to be useful. And I would encourage you to start this sooner than later. At work, most of us have systems, we have processes, and then when we get home, we don't see the need, or it just seems like, that's something just for business. But I think you can really make your life way more productive. This is why it's important. Having systems, some people like to be organized just for the sake of being organized. But if you can get rid of all these tedious, mundane tasks, the frustrations of having to, figure out your doctor's telephone number and have to look it up and not have it in a file. If you can get through all these things quicker and more efficiently, you can have more time to spend with your family, which is what's important. I'm always talking about like knowing your priorities are and then acting those priorities out. Well, responding to emails is not my priority. Spending time with my family is. And the quicker I can get through that and the more efficient, the better. And like, I don't want to, this might be dramatic, but it can probably improve your relationship with your spouse. How many times have you been frustrated by the fact that you didn't know something was happening? And your wife was frustrated that you didn't know something was happening. And she's like, well, it was in the email. And you're like, I didn't see the email. Like it eliminates this tension that, she's doing everything and you're not doing anything because she's having to tell you, well, if you can just have a place to go get the information, that's so much better. The other thing that I think is important, and we've done this on and off, and I would like to get better. This is something that I'm going to try to improve in my life, is to have weekly family meetings and spousal meetings. To get together on a Sunday night before the week starts and just truly sit down and say, hey, what do we have? What are our goals? What kind of homework do we have? And make a plan as a family. One, it makes it easier because we all know we're on the same place. But two, I really think it builds what your family is. It's so easy for your kids to go home, to get in their rooms, to shut the door, to get on social media, to get buried in YouTube, and to not talk, to not interact. So to have a time where you come together, you get your calendars out, and everybody gets on the same page, and you ask for concerns, you ask for, what are we worried about this week? What do we want to eat this week? What kind of fun things do we want to do? And I think we could definitely improve that. I haven't done this, but some suggestions I've seen are to have in your shared notes app things we need to talk about. Have you ever, maybe something bothered you? If you are married, there's something that your spouse does that bothers you. I guarantee it. And you realize there's sometimes that when your spouse is doing that thing that's bothering you and you're annoyed at that's probably not a good time to talk about it, right? You need to both be in a good, calm, happy place where if you're frustrated and she's frustrated and you're like, hey, let's bring this up, let's talk about it. That's a guaranteed fight. If you can put it into a notes, things we need to talk about. It bothers me when you put the toilet paper roll on the wrong way. It really should be going over the top and you put it underneath. Can we talk about it? That's something for the family meeting. That's a very, hopefully, benign issue, and, she can do it right and put it over the top because that is the right way to do it. I'm telling you. But, just having a time where, hey, we're going to talk about this. It's going to be non-confrontational. It's going to be, hey, I don't understand, or it makes it hard for me when you do this, vice versa. And to see that ahead of time, to not get defensive about it, just, hey, I want to have a good relationship, and having a good relationship involves talking about things, figuring that out. Maybe you just agree to disagree, that it just is what it is, and that's okay. But giving yourself a time to realize there's a problem, to let your spouse know, I'd like to talk about this and figure this out. It eliminates you're mad at the moment, so you bring it up at the moment, and it's really hard to have a good, kind, caring conversation when you're mad. In fact, I would say it's nearly impossible to have a good conversation where one side, either both or one of you, is upset about something or frustrated or disappointed or whatever it is. It's really hard to be kind. So take a second, put it in the shared notes, things we need to talk about, and then talk about it when you're both in a good headspace. I mean, and it could be not benign things like gifts. I like giving gifts and I like getting gifts. My wife doesn't care as much. And it makes it a little bit harder. So I say, what do you want? She says, I don't know. Well, if she goes to the store and she really sees this new thing she wants and she has a list that says things I want for my birthday or for Christmas, and she starts putting these things in. And then when it comes to Christmas time, I open this list up and go, oh yeah, she wants a new one of these. She wants this dress from Target that's this size and all that. Man, that would be really convenient. So just opening communication, using technology. And I know some of us, I don't like technology. It frustrates me, and I get that and I understand that, but I will say this, it's not going away. It is what we're going to use. And if you're willing to step in and use it and learn it, just like it's a tool, if you had a new I don't know, if you got a new lawnmower, you'd probably look into how to change the oil, what the maintenance schedule is for a new air filter. You look into all these things. When do I need to do these things? Technology is the same way. Look into it, figure out what it can do for you, and then let it make your life better so that you can get back to your priorities, which is becoming a better husband, becoming a better father, and a better leader. Those are your priorities. Get through all the other stuff. Use technology. Use AI. If you have this is kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but it's something that it's been very interesting to me, this whole AI and how we use it to make our lives better. The other day, I spent about 30 minutes writing an email, helping someone with a problem they had asked me about. And I listed all these things out, and it had all the information that I wanted in it, but it just wasn't presented well. I was having a hard time putting my thoughts into a logical order. So I took all the information I already typed, pasted and copied it into Google Gemini. I said, make this better. And it listed it in PowerPoints. It pulled it all out, and it was all the same information. It just was presented better. What if you know what you want to say to your wife? You type it all out and it says, make this more romantic or make this sound whatever. And it will do that for you. It's your words, just better. Use technology to make your life better so that you can live out your priorities. And that's my encouragement for this today. Just come up with a system, realize that there is a better way to do it. You can get through it and get done with it and go live your life as a great husband, father, or leader. It's been a real honor talking to you. Next week, I'm excited that it's going to be, last week, was my 1-year anniversary. And so I'm into this new year. And one of the things I'd really like to do is connect with you. So I am on Instagram at Danny Dumas, EYT, which is the Earn Your Title initials. Find me on Instagram, look me up, follow me. I post some family stuff and mostly this stuff from the podcast, just clips, but really I want to interact. I'd really like to talk to you and figure out what's going on in your life and what kind of information you'd like to hear. So yeah, follow me, Danny Dumas, EYT at Instagram. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. And yeah, it would be cool. So again, my name is Danny Dumas and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Thank you for listening and I will talk to you later. Bye.